Good morning, friends. It's Kate from Venison for dinner. The roosters are crowing. The sun is coming up. Good morning from northern BC.
Cat!
You let the wild cat inside?
Yeah!
What are you eating? Why are you black? Why are your fingers black? Is that just paint?
No, gum.
I think, okay, spit that out. Yeah, I think you're painting.
Rowan brought the wild cat inside.
He's so cute though.
He's
not that wild, just.
I don't think he's that wild.
He's just not tame.
Okay.
He doesn't look very wild to me, Rowan.
No!
Rowan, no cats inside. Please open the door.
I'm wearing a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Bring it.
And then let's wash your hands, Rowan.
I like walking. Mom, put those nuts on these.
Look how beautiful the sun is coming up.
Yeah, I can see it.
Red sky in morning, sailors take warning. We can't nail down the cows' heats. They aren't pregnant, so now we're starting a sinking program where they get a few shots over a month to hopefully then AI them. And I brought coffee out with me. I knew I was gonna have to wait a few minutes, so I just brought my coffee out with me. Something that's really neat is that like a few years ago, to give a cow a shot was like a really big deal, and I didn't want to do it. Marius didn't want to do it. Like we would legit like text a neighbor being like, hey, you want to come for a beer and give a cow a shot? And they would. But then I had to do it a bunch of times to a sick cow, and I gained the confidence, and now I was like, hey guys, just hold a bucket of grain on the other side of the fence for Mabel, the heifer, to distract her, and I just go and give her a shot. And Mabel's calm, and I knew that I could do that, but because I've done it before when she's like laying down. But that's just a very tangible, like a few years ago, I would have like been an anxious mess about having to give a cow a shot, and now I can do it and it's not a big deal. So I like those sort of tangible milestones. Are you reading a book?
He's reading the baby animal one. I got the mouse in now with the white. Thanks, Freya.
So while the kids are working on school, I'm doing some different cooking and such. We're bringing some food to friends today. I love to, if possible, always bring some bread, partially because I love baking bread, and also it just really fleshes out the amount of food.
I'm making Miss Hannah a picture because she likes pictures.
Well, that's good. So this is potato bread. It's yeasted, not sourdough, because I don't think their family does sourdough. They have quite a few food allergies, so I'm trying to just keep it very basic. And
Yes, got them all in.
I'm making a big pot of ham and beans. This is for us and to freeze dry because we really love freeze dried ham and beans. It's one of Marius's favorites. He took it hunting last year. So ham and beans. I am brining pork chops to then bake, to bring pork chops, potatoes, vegetables. It'll all be cooked and just need to warm up for the meal for them. There's that cheese I made the other day. We're having the same thing. What else do we have going on in here? Oh, I was getting ready to cook the potatoes in the Instant Pot. So there we go. So what's going on in our kitchen this morning? It's 10:15. Marius is headed to a friend's house. We do a hay trade. He does carpentry work and trade for hay. He's currently doing a bathroom reno for them. So he's been going there for 5 or 6 hours every day for the last week or two. He's doing a lovely tile job. Anyhow, I'm not sure, but it's a very complicated tile pattern.
Is it just the floor?
And some of the wall.
Oh yeah, a window.
Anyhow, I have a meeting at 11. Just a general working busy day. You back off.
I smell it.
Rowan, back off.
I smell it, Mom.
Is it beautiful?
Yeah, really. Can Amos try it?
No, because I don't want him to know what it is right now.
Ooh. Honey.
I bought this is our bucket, and I had them fill it with honey. It was 2021 honey that they wanted to clear out. So it was discounted, and honey doesn't go bad, but that's fine with me. But, you know, I don't want it in this big one, so I have a bunch of smaller buckets that we've saved, and I'm putting them in those, and I might use some jars, too.
I might taste those. Can you try that?
No, your hands aren't clean. No, your hands aren't clean.
I want mine. Try it.
Here's that squash I popped in. So that's the squash, and this is the pumpkin. Look at the texture of this. So I'm gonna puree this and put this in jars for immediate use. It's not gonna get put in Mylar for future storage. Tonight, we're having a few friends over. I am, for a seed party. My kids are like, Mom, what even is that? Okay, so first of all, we need a quick, easy dinner. I have a jar of marinara sauce that I canned, and a jar of ground beef, so we're having spaghetti, or whatever shape of pasta I decide. I have made sourdough focaccia. It's rising there. I have some cream cheese that I'm gonna spice and herb and everything hanging there. I'm gonna lay out a tray of just like light sweets, like some chocolate covered hazelnuts and dried mango, and just like delicious, nutritious, not super heavy. I'm gonna serve mead, I'm gonna serve wine, plus non-alcoholic things. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna put out gardening books. I'm calling it a garden dreaming seed catalog circling party. Okay, so I was like, you know, I have this one big packet of seeds, and what if like one person wants to take a few and another person wants to take a few? How are they taking these seeds home? So we're gonna make a simple little envelope. This is not perfect. I'm sure there's a better way, but I've spent the amount of time I can spend on Google today. So I have this beautiful origami paper. I'll show you this side of it. We have this stuff, and we have like animal print stuff. My kids like to do origami. So this is the one that I think is the simplest. So you fold it into a triangle, and then you fold this down. If I can get it. Goodness me. So then it looks like this. And then we fold these over like this. See where I'm going with this? Okay, so then we have these two flaps, and we tuck them. This is hard to do not flat on a table. Tuck them in here like this. And obviously I didn't even fold straight, but it doesn't matter. So then you open it up and you have a little thing. So I think we're just gonna use tape. I'm just gonna give everybody a little piece of tape to make sure it's just really secure, closed, and then they can write on it what variety it is. So I'm going to, I might just make a bunch of these. We'll see. Okay, so today is Friday. On Thursday, Jessica got AI'd. Can't remember if I told you guys that or not. But remember, I gave that shot for timing AI on Wednesday, which means if they were in the right point in their cycle, when I gave them that shot, they would go into heat like tonight, tomorrow morning. Mabel is super rowdy. Like, I tried to get in there and I just about got ridden myself. That was kind of sketchy. I'm pretty sure I can see mucus on her hind end, showing that she's ovulating, and she's trying to ride everybody. She's super fixated with me though. Like, wherever I am, she's following me around. So maybe we're AIing her tomorrow morning. So I've got all the lovely food out: focaccia, cream cheese, awaiting crackers, hazelnuts. I did white chocolate chips and cashews, pickles, lots of crackers, lots of cheese. And then on the table here, I have my extra seeds and those pretty envelopes. And then all sorts of books on different homesteading topics, which was really popular. They were surprised I had so many books. And I'm like, friends, I love books. So we have wine, that's from my mom and stepdad's wedding, sour cherry mead, huckleberry mead, strawberry mead, dandelion mead, raspberry rhubarb mead, and the last one is rose, and everyone really enjoyed trying them all. So we are ready for everyone to show up, and we had such a lovely evening, friends. Mabel is in. It wasn't too hard to get her in. See how she is, if she's in the right spot here for breeding. It's getting easier as we go to get her into the stanchion. She gets a tiny bit of grain as a little treat, or some alfalfa pellets or something, just something for a little treat that she came in and is there nicely.
Is it rolling?
Yeah. Hey, that wasn't cool.
Try it, it's just fine.
Okay, is everything in my pockets? Yep.
Go. Come on. Just. Hey. It's not actually that far.
Woohoo! I fell from trees higher than that, I guess. Felt? Oh, you're gonna felt these?
Yeah, where the puppy chewed it.
So you're gonna felt these?
Want to get rolling ready to check straps?
I'm taking Amos out.
How? I am pulling off from our round bale to fill a feed sack of this second cut alfalfa-ish baleage, silage, haylage, whatever you want to call it. It's hard to tear off though. The reason I'm doing this is I have a funny thing that one of our neighbors and I do, and that is if we have a cow that's not doing well, we'll sometimes swap a bit of feed. One time we both had a sick cow, and Marius was going to pick up something, and he was going to get some silage, because we're like, let's see if she would go for like some of that chopped silage. And he's like, actually, can you bring me some dry hay? Because my cow won't eat the dry hay. So yesterday I already was going to pick something up at their house, and I brought them just like a bale of dry hay. She had a few nibbles and then wouldn't go for any of it. Today I need to drop off the tools I borrowed. He's like, hey, could you bring some of your baleage? Because he only has the chopped silage for his cows. He says nice green hay is buried. So let's see if his sick cow will like our feed. So she'll bring this over. And I would love to know, people tell me, sorry, I was paying attention to where the fence was and not where the camera was pointing. Where we live, there's a lot of people who farm for a living, and they are happy to give advice and help to us who farm for fun. It's more than just for fun, but it's not our living, right? A lot of people tell me in some places, those who farm for a living won't give the time of day to those who are hobby farmers. I don't really like the term hobby farmer, but there we go. Homesteaders. But where we live it is. Okay, this was a long ramble, but I want to know, where you live, if you are in small ag, will big ag help you out and give you the time of day when you need it? Or are they like, whatever, you're not big ag? I'm just curious to know. I'm so thankful Oh, that door's frozen shut. I'm so thankful that they help us. And we also help them wherever we can, because we have a lot of skills that they don't have. Like, I've taught dairy farmers to make cheese and that sort of thing, and just a lot of back and forth and give and take, and I love it. There we go, now it's open. Marius has 2 big batches of sour cherry mead on the go. If you're not familiar with mead, I would liken it to like a honey cider. Not all mead has fruit. I think technically if it has fruit, it's called a mellow. Anyhow, in our membership, if you're wondering how to make mead, his recipes are in there. And on Instagram, starting on January 16th, we're going to be doing a make-along for a small 1-gallon batch of mead, holding your hand as we go step by step and keeping you updated on how it looks all the way to when we taste it, of course. So you can find out more about that at venisonfordinner.com and click Join the Insiders. Okay, friends, I'm going to the grocery store today. I've not been in a few weeks. I went before Christmas, I think, for a couple Christmassy things, like we like to have orange juice on Christmas morning breakfast. So it's the pantry challenge time of year, right? And we've been thinking about on this. We actually have wanted to do this for a couple of years, but didn't feel we were in a place that we could yet. Like, having Amos really threw me for a loop. I had never experienced postpartum depression or anxiety before, and after having Amos, for the first year of his life, I struggled a lot. There was a lot of days when, you know, Marius held me up by my suspenders to make sure I could go about my day, and when times when it was really bad, all he could, you know, I could keep going on business stuff. And, you know, as far as you guys saw, I was still doing videos and Instagram and all that, and I would record a video and then I would like go lay in bed. Like that was all I could do. And Marius kept me going. He really, really did. And, you know, like bringing me food and making sure I ate and making sure I rested and making sure I got out with friends and did things. And anyways, before I was pregnant with Amos, we wanted to try like a 100-mile diet type thing. Oh, I gotta sneeze. So before I was pregnant with Amos, we had talked about doing a 100-mile diet type thing. And that kind of got put to the back burner as I just didn't have the mental capacity to do something so drastically different than what we were doing in a lot of ways. Because while a lot of the stuff is the same, there's a lot of things that would need to be different. We decided that starting from when we grocery shopped last, we are working towards not a 100-mile diet, but we're calling it like the what would Ma Ingalls buy diet, right? Not quite that, because they were very poor, and be more like what would Ma Wilder, what would Almanzo's mom buy? They were a little more well off. They had more of a bounty of stuff, more similar to what we have. So I have looked at different resources. They were like late 1800s. I'm thinking more like 100 years ago type thing in our area, which honestly, our area would have been quite behind in the states where they were. So it's probably similar. But one of the reasons I'm doing that is I actually have a supply list from a book written from the 1920s, 30s. In our area, Grass Beyond the Mountains, they're a little south of us, but they have a supply list on what they bought. So that gives me a good idea of things they had and didn't have. They had chocolate. So we have a working list, and I have notes in the back of my planner. This is the Venison for Dinner planner. So in the back, I have notes. So number 1, what we can grow will be the primary bulk of our diet. Number 2, we can freely buy whatever is locally grown and produced and eat. Obviously, there's still a budget, but you know, those sort of things are not to be moderated at all. Just whatever we want to buy from those things, like honey. What could be bought at a general store, frontier trading post in the 1900s? flour, sugar, oats, dried beans, rice. Seasonally, there will be apples, carrots, oranges, baking powder, molasses, coffee, basic tea, popcorn, cornmeal, these sort of things. Those are the sort of things that we will still freely buy, so to speak, but maybe we will try to put less focus on those things versus the things that we are growing and what are locally grown. Salt, cinnamon. I asked my grandma too for some, I mean, she's not quite that old, but like my papa would be in his 90s this year, so that's similar, and asking, you know, like what things he had growing up. So we also will have a few exceptions because we want to, and we make the rules. Vanilla, cocoa. I'm not really sure at what point cocoa came onto the scene and vanilla came onto the scene in a North American grocery store, but we're going for it. A few spices like cumin seed. I also don't know when that would have come. If you guys know, please tell me. Ginger, we really love fresh ginger. Any of the herbs, things we buy as medicine, like the teas, like dried herbs for teas, those sort of things, we will still buy because that is important to us. And this may sound like a funny one, but avocado oil. And this is because instead of making multiple exceptions like olive oil and avocado oil, we're doing avocado oil because the only thing we really use it for is salad dressings and if we were to make our own mayonnaise. So I don't love olive oil mayonnaise, so that's why I chose avocado oil, because then we can use that for mayonnaise. This time of year, we hardly use olive oil or avocado oil at all because we're using lots of lard and butter and tallow, and there is no fresh salads growing. And honestly, nobody in our family really wants it. We love the food we grow and preserve. We all enjoy it and thrive off of it. And once we get to summertime, then we're wanting more salads, and then that's when we're making mayonnaise to make my homemade Caesar salad and all that. Like, we eat Caesar salad like every other day as long as we have romaine growing. Or honestly, any other sturdy lettuce that can handle romaine, the Caesar salad dressing. That one's on venisonfordinner.com. So, this is a working thing in terms of like, this is a working list. This is not like a set in stone. We're transitioning towards this. I still have potato chips and granola bars in my cupboard. We're thinking on what sort of nuts and seeds will be allowed. Like, I know walnuts you'd be able to get, hazelnuts. So those are things we're still working on, just thinking about. We're not rushing into it. We just want to be intentional and think harder about the sourcing of our foods, beyond the things we grow. Sometimes I feel like we don't put enough thought into some of the other sourcing things we buy. It's been a long ramble. Basically, it means cutting out anything prepackaged, obviously. Our exception list is not including anything prepackaged. Other exceptions are children's birthdays. They can pick what they want for their birthday meal because we're not out here to try and like scar our kids. Today they went ice fishing. Marius and Mac, Hamish, Freya, Rowan. I stayed home with a friend, and a friend came over and visited. They went with a friend and their older daughter, who's Rowan's age, and the friend's wife and their baby came over here because the babies are kind of hard ice fishing sometimes. So we had tea and made feta and went over seeds and read seed catalogs, and it was lovely. The point of that was that previously we would like grab some granola bars or a box of crackers for them to have while ice fishing. we have those sort of snacks on hand for those sort of things so that it's easy to just throw in their basket, along with, like, today they brought hot dogs. We're out of all fresh fruit, which is on my list to get at the grocery store, apples and oranges, because you can't really bring canned or frozen fruit easily, haul it out onto a lake ice fishing. So with not wanting to buy those things, I wanted to keep the chips and crackers and granola bars we have for, like, actual last minute things where it's like we get up in the morning like, hey, it's a beautiful day, let's go for a hike, let's go ice fishing. Okay, now we have those. I knew ahead of time they were going ice fishing. So I made cookie bars and I made cheese straws, which are kind of like small little cheese biscuits. And that was their snacking food while they were out there. So there's a lot more of that sort of thing. Marius loves to make noodle soup. So he is going to learn to make noodles on his own so that he can keep making noodle soup. We still have a good few noodles. Yeah, so just all these sort of things, being more intentional, and also just seeing what it looks like. What does our diet look like if we only eat what we can grow and what you could have bought 100+ years ago? If you've done something like this, I would love to hear about it. Or I'd love to hear, like, what would be on your exceptions list? Like, what would you still allow? What would you, what do you think would be at a general store in that time? If you have a great resource that would give me some more insight to that, I would also love that. But there you go. This is our food journey, and I have some ideas on some, like, challenges to take you guys along with us. So just stay tuned. At this wholesale grocery we go to, it also has the case price on every tag, and I think a lot of people don't realize what the second price is on the label. So the case price is significantly cheaper. There was no bananas, by the way. However, when I actually asked for any of these cases, they actually didn't have any in the back. So while it almost appeared like it was well stocked, they actually were pretty low on everything. And there was some empty spots, but mostly just whenever I asked for a case of something in the back, they didn't have it. I ended up buying the organic oranges because they looked the nicest. They were a little bit more a pound, but they just looked so much nicer. I bought 2 bags of the Bob's gluten-free all-purpose flour. It's gone up a couple dollars a bag in price. I bought a box of ambrosia apples and some grapefruits and magic erasers, friends, because there's a Sharpie situation in our living room that seriously needs to be. Freya's carrying in a bag of vet supplies, syringes, needles that I needed. Max got a box of, what's in your box?
Oranges, Tums.
We'll see inside.
Who's it for? Bro, this has been a long time. Do you remember this? Carrots.
Would you like a carrot?
This carrot?
This bag is open. Here you go, Rowan.
Carrot.
Amos would like a carrot.
Oh,
Amos.
there's oranges. Mom got oranges. And more. And more.
Thanks for watching, friends. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Oh, my thumbs are busy. And subscribe so you don't miss our weekly video. We used to do bi-weekly videos. Now we're doing once-a-week videos. But don't forget, you can still find us on Instagram, and the blog has like a bazillion recipes if you look there. So venisonfordinner.com, Venison for Dinner on Instagram. Find us there. Enjoy us everywhere.